Hello everybody, coming in to do a retro CSS battle. Today we'll be doing September 8th, 9th, and 10th from 2023. Let's get started. I feel like this is a pretty straightforward kind of scenario, at least for the initial shape, right? So if we have a circle to create, or if we have a block to create a circle, we put a border radius on it of 50%, and we create a conic gradient, well understood, and our options are we can start at the top, which is the vertical here, do 25% or 90 degrees. That's equivalent. A color, another color stop, 50% in this case, or 180 degrees, and then finish it up with that. So that gets us that shape. The devil's in the details, though, because that could be, you could actually do this with two colors if you add a from 90 degrees, which is a little shorter, and then do this as 25%. So that's a little shorter, a little better. Additionally, if you put that background color onto there, then this can be transparent. So that's essentially that's what we got going on. So if I do two of these and rotate the second and then translate it into place, I think that's probably the best solution, or it's a solution. So let's make this bigger. Is that the size? That might be the size. Let's put it into place with margins. 50, 60, 70, 65. Just trying to choose those margins so that they go right into place. And then if I add another one, there it is. And I want to rotate it, P plus P. Transform, and can I do rotate? I can never remember quite which of the transforms. Yes, I can. So there's a rotate of that, and then I don't have any margins on this one. I mean, there are default margins, but I can do I can use margins to move him, I think, without affecting the first one. So minus 100, 0, 0, 10, 50, 6. And I guess it's not 90 degrees that I want to do, it's 180. 118, 180 degrees. There it is. Okay, so then with our margins, we actually can get there with a few more tweaks to the numbers. 125. Maybe 126 vertical, and there it is. So our height and width are both 140. 140. Got to type the right number. There we go. All right, so that's how that one works. I don't think there are any units to replace because we have scarcely any pixel units, which is mostly what that's there to create that. So that's a good score. All right, cool. Next, this is another fun one. The two E's seem incredibly complex when you initially look at them. The truth is, I see two conic gradients, like they glare out at me. Part of however my brain works, I say, oh, that's two conic gradients. And when I think about a conic gradient, I think about a shape, and in this case, very similar to the shape in that circle, we do a conic gradient. And we're going to say from 90 degrees, and we're going to have that first color be red, 25%, which is, again, a 90-degree angle, and then orange and 0. And that's kind of the shape of that E. Okay, so now that I've talked about it, let's do it. All right, so we need to push and prod that paragraph element so that it adheres to the outlines of that shape. 125. Oh, maybe not 125. 125 over there on the left, but not on the right. Might be 124. Yeah, that sure seems right to me. So let's do the first part, as I said, of this background. So and right now it's not tall enough. I need to make it taller. Is that 200? No, 170, 180. Okay. So that's how that looks now. So I'm going to put that conic gradient in the upper corner by doing a 0, 0. That's the background position. And then I'm going to make the width of it less. Okay. And then I need to make the height of it less as well. So that's how that works roughly. And then the repeat, because we've got this little white part, and that's no good. We're gonna need something here to change to let the yellow peek through. So I'm gonna make that do there. It's repeat right now. It's repeating on the x-axis and the y-axis, and I just wanted to repeat on the y-axis. So we're going to repeat y. And so you can see that it is only as wide as that. So that's our E. All right, so it's got to be wider. So that's what, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. No, I was doing that on the y-axis. Okay, let's make it wider. 110, 20, 121. Okay. And the height of that is, all right, so let's do the no repeat so we can get the first one correct. We know we have the width correct though. All right, so let's make the height correct. So less tall, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 60 tall. And then the center of that is at 20 pixels or something. Maybe it's at 30, 30. All right. And now let's do our repeat Y again. And there it is. So what's next? I think what's next is, what is next? So I'm talking about how simple this all is, and then realizing that by setting the height of this, I have inadvertently underestimated the complexity of this if I do it as gradients, because I need to cover this, and I think I was thinking I could do yellow, that I could that I could do yellow here and as part of the conic gradient, but this has two centers, or does it? Oh wait, no. Because I want to utilize the orange that's there, and I want to cover this orange. But if I change the height, then I ruin the repeating aspect of this. So is this the best way to do it? So ignore all the words that I said before. I was wrong. All right, next. Let's do a Oh, okay. So here's what's next. I need to punch out that. If I do a conic gradient or even a linear gradient, yeah, all I actually need is a linear gradient downward. And underneath that layer of a yellow, 30 pixels, and red, then I've got a bunch of it. And then I need to do one more thing to get rid of that little divot. So the question is there a clean way to do that? And maybe there's not. Maybe the initial. So I wonder if by altering this to be what, from 90 degrees, that what if I did this? That sort of ruins the whole thing. and then forces me to do other things. So yeah, I don't think that's better. So okay, so I haven't cracked the completely perfect and efficient way to do this, and that's okay. Let's do it. Let's do a clip path. So we're gonna remove that bottom corner with a clip path. Is this more efficient? No, I think absolutely not. That's okay. It's fun. So corners of the clip path. And then what, 30 pixels, 100%. And then that height, so it's probably what, 0, 150 pixels. And so I need another point between those two, so that's 30 pixels, 150 pixels. And that's it, I think. Let's see if it's a match. And then we're done. More or less done. Not super efficient. I mean, it's fun, but again, not efficient. And you could do the whole thing as a clip path, right? You could clip out a whole background using that, and it's not a bad score. It's not a bad score as such, but it's not a great score. It's not super great. Because we could do, yeah, I will leave that alone. It's not my best, but I think I'm content with that. It's a little reminder that shapes are complicated, but you get a lot out of just 2 gradients and a little clip path. Like, that's pretty cool. All right, and then lastly, speaking of complicated shapes, this one, what shall we do? I feel like that same approach that we did with these circles, or we're going to take with this one as well. So let's do that. Okay, so let's shift this background to not be pink, and we'll be in one of these colors that we see, like so. And then we'll use our margins to make that adhere to the shape. Oh, and 50/100 is apparently right, so let's make that 200 tall. No, that's not what I want. I think I want 80, 70, 60, 160 tall. And then for my background, I'm going to do this very specific conic gradient. And they're transparent. And then this light brown. And that's the shape you get by adding an at value. Two at values. So is that? I feel like that number's might be right. All right, and then by making another one, and then what? Flipping it. Rotate. And then a margin top of -100 or something, 120, 30, 40. Is that the shape? No, not quite. We're a little off. 1, 2, 3, 35, 36. That's the shape. So that's pretty good. Interplace and minify. It has me thinking about different ways to do the one that I sort of lucked into. Yeah, so what if we took that same approach on this guy? What if we started from scratch again? Why not? And instead of, so we're going to constrain that element in the same way. Let's do the background too. And we're just going to do the first E, 6, 7, 8. So even more. So yeah, that first E. So again, we have that same number. If we only do then this number on 30, maybe. So I'm pushing it in just so it's the shape of that E. And I'm doing all of that to avoid putting a width on the E. And maybe I should just say, don't worry about that, and instead put a width on the E. Maybe that's better, huh? And then we put a width on this guy. $121Y. Okay. And then let's make him as tall as the E. And strictly speaking, that's all we need. If we do another one, and we variabilize that background color bar of G or that default for P plus P, so the second one. Let's do our radial gradient here. So -G is no conic gradient here, and that's from actually no, that's from 180 degrees at, it's like 80 pixels, 30 pixels or something. That's just a starter. And then we're going to do transparent, 25%. I don't know if you can see what I'm visualizing in my head. Clearly you can't. Sorry about that. And then that's in the upper corner. And it's 100% wide, and it's like 60 pixels tall. And that's our E. And then if we do a margin, so the gradient isn't quite right, but you see what I'm getting at here. So let's get these margins correct. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we need a margin here, 10, 20, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something's wrong there. So even so, we've been bit by, I think, these margins. I can't make it go further over. Oh yeah, I can. I'm sure I can. All right, just a mistake in what I was looking at. 3. All right, so we've got a match. We just need to, we need to move the center of this over a bit. So that's this number. 91. Is that it? That's pretty elegant, actually. I like that a lot better. So I'm going to resubmit. And unit replace and minify. And do I need? Yeah, I need all that. I was trying to see if I could, refine down what some of those things were. Can I do the old Q unit? There's 32Q. That's a little terser. And then 60%, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 100%? I kind of doubt it. It looks like I've got a little bit of wiggle there. Nope, that's 100% match, and that's a new high score. So let's reminify and unit replace again. And do we need all those margins? Yes, we do. Do we need all those margins? Yes. I think that's a good solution. I'm happy with that. I'm much more content that that's a much more expert solution than what I had for that first try, just because I love a conic gradient. Now, I did use a conic gradient, but I don't need 2 of them because the E covers the E that's backwards. Maybe it's a 3, maybe it's a digital 3. It's a little bit better. All right. So once again, that was September the 8th, 9th, and 10th of 2023. Some fun CSS battles. With all of these, there are different ways to do it. I can, just as I'm looking at them now, you can do these with just gradients on the body. You don't need any elements. That's another way to go. Would that be shorter, terser, better code? Maybe. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching.